was not permitted to send somebody with it.
Not permitted.
I was
so
not
I should
permitted.
scratch out not their policy.
You can scratch out that.
Right, I'm going to scratch that out. Not permitted. They were not permitted. Did they say why?
They didn't say why at that point in time. As I said, the circumstances dynamic, but I would have found out why later on. And the reason was, at that time, we're still going through COVID.
COVID.
So that is why they were not allowing persons to
Right.
go to the back of the ambulance.
So let me understand this. This man has come out of the pipe after several hours of being in it. He is brought out by other divers,
Yes,
held in the hyperbaric chamber for a little while because of the bends.
correct.
He's then transported from there onto the...
No, there was no hyperbaric chamber there.
I
Well,
think-
I don't know if they held him because of the bends.
well, whether they did or not, we've
problem.
heard evidence about it. Either way, he was held in the hyperbaric chamber for a little while, for whatever reason, right? He's held there by other divers.
Correct,
And then brought to the surface and onto the berth, correct?
correct,
He's then taken from there onto a boat
correct,
and transported by boat to the jetty.
correct.
All of that takes time, and he's with other people who are trying to save his life.
Yes,
And he's now on the boat, he gets to the jetty, and at the jetty he is met by ambulance staff from the hospital and
Correct.
by you and others.
Yes.
Correct? He's then put on, 5 minutes while I was waiting there, and then he's put onto the ambulance. And at that point, you're being told he cannot have someone accompany him because of COVID regulations.
well, that's what I would have found out after.
You didn't understand it was COVID regulations.
I didn't
at the
understand
time.
it was COVID.
You subsequently discovered that he was not allowed to have anybody else in the ambulance with him because it was COVID regulation not to.
Yes,
Right. In any event, because you were not told, can I take it you didn't ask why you were not permitted to have someone accompany him in the ambulance?
I didn't ask the question, as it was a split-second decision, and I really
No,
wanted
I'm
him
not
to...
criticising that. I understand this is a dynamic situation, all
As I said,
happened rather
it's,
suddenly.
you really want to get this guy to seek medical attention.
Yes, I get that. But he's alive. There are 4 other people in the pipe who are not, perhaps. And what's important is for you and the IMT to know as much as you possibly can about the other 4,
Yes,
isn't it? I mean, hallelujah, this man has managed to crawl out under his own free will and through tremendous effort to get out of the pipe. That's what he's done, isn't it? You knew that.
yes,
And the fact is that he was best placed, as Mr. Maharaj was asking you, to tell you, the IMT, the conditions in that pipe.
Well, I believe he would have... What he told me is to go back for the others.
Yeah, right. So pausing there for a moment, if he's saying to you, I think he was saying, we've heard evidence that he's saying, Faizi's right behind me. You know who Faizi is?
Yes,
Right. Faizi's right behind me. Go back and get him. Go and get him. And was he saying to you that the others were alive and in the pipe?
he didn't use the words alive at that point in time, but he expressed the need to go back for them.
Right. So he didn't say to you they're actually alive. Did you ask him?
I didn't ask that specific question.
Well,
But I would assume that if he's telling me to go back for them, that
you
they-
assumed they were
that
alive.
they are alive.
Right. So you knew or believed at that point in time that he's got out of his own free will and that there others are in there and they're alive.
Yes,
You also understood how important it would be to discover as much as you possibly can about the conditions.
right. So as I said before, when he says go back, at this point in time, I am at the landing. I don't know if all the divers came out the pipeline
Right.
and they're still in the chamber. So when he says go back for them, I don't know if he means go back
Maybe
in the
they
pipeline.
all just came out together.
Maybe they all just came out together. So the focus for me at that point in time is to ensure that I have enough medical assistance at that landing to cater for whatever eventuality may come to
Is
me.
it realistic, though, Mr. Yearwood, if they'd all come out at the same time, that he would be the only one on the boat coming to the shore?
Well, as I said, I didn't understand fully the circumstances. The details are coming in. So they may have been just at the surface, they may be, but I would have been preparing to receive other persons coming in.
Anyway, nobody went with him in the ambulance.
Nobody went with them in the